Eles levaram o homem ao espaço, mas nunca deixaram a Terra. Eles pilotaram todos os voos sem tirar os pés do chão.
We had to pull missions literally out of the fire, make the right things happen, and bring these crews back home.
São os homens do controle de missão, engenheiros que transformaram o sonho da conquista do espaço em realidade.
You just didn't say, we can't do this, we can't do that. You made it happen.
O diretor de voo Gene Kranz e os homens do controle de missão contam sua história pela primeira vez.
I almost shook my head in fear.
We were losing our oxygen.
The CIA came rushing in.
No one was to talk about it. No one was to know about it.
They were trapped.
You cannot operate in this room unless you believe you're Superman and whatever happens, you're capable of solving the problem.
O Homem na Lua. O fracasso não é uma opção. Com base no livro O Fracasso Não É Uma Opção, de Gene Kranz. Esta sala faz parte da história. O controle de missão Apollo em Houston. Hoje reina o silêncio, mas houve uma época de movimento intenso. Neste console, o diretor de voo Gene Kranz comandava seus controladores em situações de vida ou morte, chegando à Lua pela primeira vez e trazendo uma nave avariada de volta para casa. O destino trouxe Gene Kranz a este lugar e o transformou em ator neste palco. A longa jornada que culminou aqui começa muito antes, com o sonho de uma criança. O sonho de voar.
I had been standing in the tops of trees, and I just sway back and forth. And this was part of this adventure kind of thing. My brother-in-law got one of the pilots in there to give me a ride, and it was just like I died and gone to heaven. I was an eagle. I was soaring. I was flying. That day, it just captured me, and it's never left me.
O desejo do garoto logo se realizaria. Mas as asas prateadas que carregariam Gene Kranz não foram forjadas com sonhos, mas com fogo. Em 1949, a União Soviética explode uma bomba nuclear. Os americanos e soviéticos iniciam um duelo aterrorizante, a Guerra Fria. As duas potências parecem equilibradas, mas em 4 de outubro de 1957, os Estados Unidos sofrem uma grande derrota. Gene Kranz era um piloto da Força Aérea na Coreia quando ouviu a notícia.
We came down from a flight one day, and we got the word that the Soviet Union had launched a satellite called Sputnik.
A Rússia já tem armas nucleares e agora tem o primeiro satélite da história. Uma máquina implacável voando diretamente sobre os Estados Unidos. Ela pode espionar, tirar fotos, pode soltar bombas. 4 semanas depois, outro Sputnik. Uma potência hostil está tomando o espaço, talvez para controlar o planeta.
It is quite possible that an aggressor nation that dominates space will then dominate the world. We just can't let that happen.
De repente, a Rússia transformou o espaço em um novo campo de batalha da Guerra Fria. Para competir, os Estados Unidos criam a NASA, a Administração Nacional de Aeronáutica e Espaço. Sua missão? Levar um americano ao espaço o mais rápido possível. Esta campanha não será conduzida por generais, mas por engenheiros. Em qualquer outra época, estes homens teriam carreiras comuns. Agora, os eventos mundiais os colocaram no centro de um conflito. Poucos serão conhecidos pelo público, mas eles se tornarão os heróis anônimos da corrida para a Lua. Após deixar a Força Aérea, Gene Kranz se junta a este exército de engenheiros e conhece o homem que mudaria sua vida, Christopher Columbus Crafty.
He was the mentor, the teacher, the tutor. Chris Kraft was the architect not only of mission control, but basically the entire concept for spaceflight operations.
Crafty tem a missão de traçar o plano de voo do projeto Mercury, o programa que levaria um americano ao espaço.
I don't think that suddenly some morning I woke up and said, oh, we're going to have a mission control center. That term never crossed my mind. It wasn't until I began to think about the details that I realized the importance that the ground would play in this operation.
Os médicos não sabem se um humano pode sobreviver no espaço. E mesmo que possa, o veículo estará se movendo muito rápido para que o piloto tome decisões.
Kraft recognized that flying a spacecraft 5 miles per second really doesn't allow much time for equivocation. And we'd be the guys on the ground who had to come up with the answers if they ran into problems.
É um conceito revolucionário. Controle de voo a partir do solo. A ideia é simples, mas nunca foi tentada. Quando começam a transformá-la em realidade, os detalhes levantam cada vez mais questões.
How often do you want to talk to this thing as it goes around the Earth? What do you need to know where it is? If I've got to be prepared to bring it down any place around the world, what am I going to do about that?
Como ainda não existem satélites de comunicação, Crafty precisa de uma rede global de estações terrestres para rastrear a nave e falar com o astronauta.
How did they know what's going on? How did they know what to do? There needed to be a place where decisions had to be made and distributed. Now, my goodness, I do need a central facility.
Esta instalação logo se tornará o controle Mercury. Enquanto a equipe de Crafty o planeja, outros engenheiros da NASA em Cabo Canaveral, Flórida, encontram outro tipo de desafio. O espaço é uma questão política. Para alguns, os fracassos americanos simbolizam uma fraqueza nacional.
The question was whether we in the United States had really fallen behind in science and technology, not just in the space program.
Em 12 de abril de 1961, os russos deixam isso claro.
The spaceship was built in Russia. The takeoff and the landing somewhere in Russia. The name of the man, Yuri Alexeyevich Gagarin.
A viagem de Yuri Gagarin ao espaço torna-se a maior conquista russa desde o Sputnik.
They secured these large boosters, which have led to them putting their man in space. We are, I hope, going to be able to carry out our efforts this year, but we are behind.
When the Russians flew first, now the pressure on the United States was probably tenfold what it was before that.
5 de maio de 1961. O recém-concluído controle Mercury tentará enviar o astronauta Alan Shepard ao espaço. O voo de Shepard não pode ser comparado ao dos soviéticos, pois ele não atingirá a órbita. Mas será conduzido ao vivo diante de todo o mundo.
Somebody said to me, we're going to have this operation done as it happens on national television. And, you know, I almost shook my head in fear because that's something I'd never been faced with before.
O voo de Shepard durará apenas 15 minutos. Mas são 15 minutos de eventos inéditos. E o futuro do programa depende de seu resultado.
Shepard's flight was literally fraught with danger, and it was the one that we had to make happen if we were to keep moving forward in space.
Cabin pressure is holding at 5.5.
Now they are absolutely screaming. It is a tremendously
Os russos continuam na frente, mas eles voam em segredo. E a transmissão ao vivo do lançamento de Shepard dá aos Estados Unidos a vantagem na opinião internacional.
Even 24 hours after that flight, we already knew that flight had had a remarkable impact in Europe. Even though we didn't achieve what Gagarin did, the fact that we did it live and people could see it happen had a tremendous impact. And I think it was very reassuring to the Europeans to see the inside of mission control on TV, and it showed that we did still have capability.
Shepard's flight made it happen for the team. It was only 15 minutes, but it was a precursor of the great things that would come.
O prestígio político destes 15 minutos é devidamente aproveitado pelo presidente. Em 25 de maio de 1961, John Kennedy aumenta a aposta.
I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal before this decade is out of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the earth. No single
I couldn't believe it. This whole idea of doing it before this decade is out is absolutely ludicrous. And then you think about it a little bit more and you get away from the initial impressions and you say, holy cow, what a challenge, what a job. This guy trusts us when we haven't been able to put a man in orbit.
O primeiro americano a tentar um voo orbital será o astronauta John Glenn.
We will pick up the count at T-minus 6 minutes and 30.
20 de fevereiro de 1962. Nossa primeira missão orbital.
Emergency cancel? No. All pre-start power lights are correct. The ready light is on. Roger, the clock is operating. Godspeed.
O voo de Glenn molda o futuro do controle de missão de formas inesperadas. Durante a primeira órbita, tudo corre conforme esperado.
Roger, 0G, and I feel fine.
Então, uma luz de aviso no controle de missão indica um problema na cápsula.
We had a single piece of instrumentation that indicated his heat shield might have come loose. If this was true, we couldn't re-enter safely. It was also the question, was this a valid piece of information?
Se for válida, John Glenn pode se desintegrar durante a reentrada. O diretor de voo, Chris Kraft, acredita que é um alarme falso.
I talked it over with my flight control team, and we all said, that's an erroneous signal. So I'll ignore that.
A diretoria se envolve no caso.
In the top management's mind, restraining the heat shield with the retro-rocket package was the most conservative form of re-entry.
Normalmente, os retrofoguetes são acionados no início da reentrada e depois descartados. A diretoria acredita que, conservando o conjunto durante a reentrada, o escudo pode continuar no lugar, mas isso é arriscado. A reentrada com os foguetes pode danificar um escudo de calor em perfeitas condições.
If it was not valid, then we put John Glenn at risk by using an off-the-wall procedure, one that we hadn't fully tested.
A diretoria insiste. Pouco após acionar os foguetes, Glenn recebe a notícia.
We are recommending that you leave the retro package on through the entire re-entry. Do you read? This is Spaceship 7. What is the reason for this? Do you have any reason? Over.
Glenn inicia a reentrada. Por 4 minutos, ninguém saberá se ele sobreviveu. 20 de fevereiro de 1962. O astronauta John Glenn está reentrando na atmosfera a 27 mil milhas por hora. Uma luz de aviso diz que seu escudo de calor está solto, mas pode ser um alarme falso. Por 4 minutos, o controle Mercury não saberá se ele sobreviveu por causa da perda de contato.
Blackout is a time period where the fire of re-entry prevents communications to the crewman on board the spacecraft. During this period of time, we're unable to communicate with the crewman. He's on his own.
Transit 7, this is King. Do you read, over? Transit 7, this is King. Over. Do you read, over? Main suit is on green.
Finalmente, Glenn reaparece a salvo.
Ship 7, ready for impact, almost down. Here we go.
O sinal era falso. Exames posteriores mostraram que o escudo de calor nunca esteve solto.
What did I learn from that? I learned that my organization probably knew more about the dangers associated with what we were doing, probably knew better what to do than anybody else.
A partir de então, Kraft insiste para que apenas um homem tenha a palavra final, o diretor de voo.
It was essential that the flight director was the ultimate authority. And Chris Kraft made sure that that was the way it was, and that means that any of his bosses, even up to the NASA administrator, even up to the president, cannot reverse a decision that he makes in real time.
When you step into that console, you accept the responsibility for the life of the crew, the success of the mission, and you're doing it in full view of the entire world.
Ao longo do ano seguinte, mais 3 voos reafirmam o conceito do controle terrestre. O projeto Mercury mostrou que os Estados Unidos podem competir no espaço.
Mercury was the acid test for manned spaceflight. We had to learn how to do that, and Mercury did it.
Então, em 22 de novembro de 1963, a vida do homem que apresentara aos engenheiros do controle de missão seu maior desafio chega ao fim.
After his assassination, it moved from being a challenge to literally a crusade. This was now our mission to win this battle for President Kennedy. It was visceral. It was gut. We are going to do it. And we're the right people to do it. And we're going to do it in the time frame he said we'll do it.
Mas eles não conseguirão sem ajuda. Muita ajuda. Para chegar à Lua, a NASA precisa de uma legião de engenheiros.
We didn't have to hire people. They came to us. They came to us in droves. And most of the young people that came to us were the first in their families ever to go to college.
We were all about the same age. We all graduated within a year or two of one another. We were all 22, 23 years old.
I was trying to build up a herd of Herefords because I thought I wanted to be a rancher. A friend says, why don't you send in an application? So the next thing I knew, they didn't even grant me an interview. They sent me a job offer for more money than a country boy had ever seen, by the way. I'll never forget what it was. It was $6,770, $6,770 a year.
We didn't have many PhDs. We didn't have many master's degrees. We had guys with BSs, with a lot of common sense, who were very adaptable, in a lot of cases were brilliant, who fit into this control center environment.
Novo centro de controle é construído perto de Houston, Texas. Oficialmente chamado de Sala de Controle de Operações da Missão, ficaria conhecido pelo público simplesmente como Controle de Missão. Nesta sala, a ideia de controle terrestre cresceria e seria aperfeiçoada. O conceito é simples: dividir a espaçonave e a missão em partes. Cada controlador cuidará de uma parte. Os da primeira fila, a trincheira, são navegadores controlando a posição e o destino da espaçonave. E um mundo de mecânica orbital, física e leis de movimento.
Their job was the mathematics of space. Their job was to take these equations that were put into computers, find a way to get us into orbit, and then get us back home.
A segunda fileira, sistemas, é responsável pela máquina. Motores, computadores, bateria, oxigênio, tudo o que ela precisa para funcionar e manter o astronauta vivo.
The systems role was about power systems, environmental control, oxygen, that kind of stuff. Very different kind of culture and usually different kinds of thinkers.
A sala é uma pirâmide. No topo, senta-se o diretor de voo. Os controladores lhe dão informações e ele decide o que fazer. Se o controle de missão é uma orquestra, os diretores de voo, Chris Kraft, John Hodge, Glenn Lunney, Gene Kranz e todos que vieram depois são os maestros.
The flight director's job is to take any actions needed for crew safety and mission success. I have between 15 and 21 controllers in this room who provide me inputs, but ultimately I have to exercise the mission decision.
O controle de missão exige mais do que fios, botões e monitores. Esta sala desenvolve sua própria cultura e um dos primeiros passos é aprender a linguagem.
I was staying at one of my friend's house, and she said, well, how was your first day? I said, it was really exciting and fine. I said, except I might as well have been in a foreign country. I didn't know what anybody was talking about.
GNC, give me a RCS propellant consumed so far. It looks like a PCM count from 302.
It was all acronyms. I mean, and then there was acronyms of acronyms.
ECS Econ. No, I think we may have some RCS, huh?
On UHF, the Ecom's going to talk about the EPD CDS and what relationship it might have to GNC and whether or not that will cause us to abort the mission and go into the Tanana Reef. That kind of stuff.
As siglas são apenas o começo. Cada console é ligado a 25 linhas telefônicas. Os controladores precisam aprender a decifrar múltiplas conversas ao mesmo tempo.
One of the things you learned to do was to be able to listen to 3 and 4 and sometimes 5 loops at one time. And you'd be picking out what you had to know and what you wanted to hear and what you didn't want to hear.
Okay, it's going down. It's going down. Thank you.
You'd learn how to pick it out. Either that or you'd probably just drown in the job.
That's your current flight.
Os jovens que chegavam ao controle de missão nos anos 60 e eram todos homens, viviam no paraíso dos engenheiros. Intenso, tecnológico, competitivo e isolado. Do lado de fora, uma revolução cultural está a caminho. Ao longo dos anos 60, o controle de missão se tornará muitas coisas, mas ele jamais estará na moda.
They all had button-down white shirts, narrow ties, and of course the pocket protectors there for the pens and the pencils.
First of all, for the record, I'd never owned a pocket protector.
I never wore one in my life.
I didn't either.
Other people did, but I never owned one.
Mine was leather, but I had one.
O trabalho no controle de missão mudará suas vidas para sempre. Não é um ambiente saudável, mas com o café, o cigarro, os sanduíches e o estresse, vem a sensação de identidade, o amor pelo trabalho e o orgulho de saber que em uma crise o país conta com eles.
When the picture finally opened up to me about what this was about, I really got into it, and I was hooked.
I didn't give a shit what I'd been thinking, how many problems I got. When I walked through those doors and I shut them behind me, I was now in the control center, and I'd better get my act together because what I was going to be doing is very important.
Russians surprised with another first in the person of Alexei Leonov, who they say became the first man to walk around in space.
Em 18 de março de 1965, o mundo é lembrado de que são os engenheiros russos e não os americanos que estão fazendo avanços importantes.
Russia has moved ahead of the U.S. once more in the race for the moon.
In the top levels of the White House and in the Congress, there was deep concern that all the important things were being done first by the Soviet. They were the first ones to orbit anything. They were the first ones to put man in space. They were the first ones to put a woman in space. Again and again and again, they were doing things first. And when were we going to be able to do something first?
A resposta da NASA é o projeto Gemini. Lançando uma cápsula para 2 homens e não muito maior do que a Mercury, a Gemini desenvolveria ferramentas e técnicas para a viagem à Lua, com sorte, antes dos russos.
Gemini was designed to develop and prove the operational techniques of a rendezvous, long-duration missions, and then a spacewalk, extravehicular operations.
Nada disso é mais importante do que o encontro. Os russos nunca o fizeram, e será essencial nas missões lunares. Ao deixar a Lua, a cápsula terá que se encontrar com a nave-mãe, ou os astronautas não voltarão para casa.
Rendezvous was an absolute necessity if we were to achieve the goal of putting a man on the moon.
O encontro, unir 2 veículos no espaço, não será fácil. Cada um se desloca a 27 mil quilômetros por hora, mais rápido do que uma bala de rifle. Colocá-los na mesma trajetória, a poucos metros de distância, sem que se choquem, será a manobra mais complexa já realizada. A promessa de um presidente, bilhões de dólares em equipamentos, anos de trabalho e dezenas de milhares de pessoas. Tudo em vão se o encontro não funcionar. Dezembro de 1965. Há 8 anos, os Estados Unidos estão perdendo a corrida espacial. Agora o controle de missão vai tentar superar a Rússia com o primeiro encontro da história.
Rendezvous was an absolute necessity if we were to achieve the goal of putting a man on the moon.
A Gemini 6, com os astronautas Wally Schirra e Tom Stafford, é lançada. Eles tentarão se encontrar com a Gemini 7, pilotada por Frank Borman e Jim Lovell, já em órbita. O sucesso ou o fracasso dependem da matemática. Os mecânicos orbitais da trincheira precisam calcular 2 trajetórias perfeitas, considerando a gravidade da Terra, o peso das espaçonaves, a potência dos foguetes e todas as variáveis. Se as equações funcionarem, eles terão as 2 cápsulas posicionadas lado a lado com perfeição, como 2 carros, separadas por 30 centímetros a 27 mil quilômetros por hora. Ninguém sabe se isso é possível.
We had to prove that these equations that they had written could bring those 2 together.
Okay. Steering looks good from here, Gemini 6. You are go.
We calculated all the maneuvers they had to do. We tracked their orbits and, in essence, kind of flew the spacecraft from the ground.
Gemini 6, Houston, you're coming up on 1 minute to the burn. Roger, Jim. Mark.
A hora da verdade. Se os cálculos da trincheira estiverem corretos, Schirra e Stafford, na Gemini 6, poderão ver a 7 a alguns quilômetros adiante.
Hey, I think I've got it. Is that spacecraft covered?
Ed Fendel é um controlador na estação de rastreamento do Havaí.
And I had 2 vehicles sitting there, and they were talking to each other because they had rendezvoused right over the top of me. And it was very, very exciting.
Yeah, we're sitting up here playing bridge together. First formation with 7. Everything is go here.
O encontro. É a primeira vez que os americanos vencem os russos. Jerry Bostick quer comemorar.
I went to the flight director, Chris Kraft, and said, would you mind if we broke out some American flags and showed a little emotion? And in the control center. And not only did we put them on the console, I have to admit, we got a little excited and we waved them around.
É 1965. A missão dupla das Gêmenis 6 e 7 é um sucesso. A única técnica que ainda não foi dominada é a caminhada no espaço, o que os engenheiros chamam de atividade extraveicular ou EVA. Um ano antes, a caminhada espacial de 15 minutos do astronauta Ed White correra bem. Agora, a segunda EVA americana, bem mais ambiciosa, caberá ao astronauta Gene Cernan.
Cernan would have to move along a series of handholds to a maneuvering unit that he would strap on his back, and he would basically fly around the vicinity on the tether behind the Gemini spacecraft.
5 de junho de 1966, Gemini 9. 45 horas após o início do voo, cerca de meia hora após o início da segunda EVA americana. Todos esperam que a EVA de Cernan seja fácil, mas em gravidade zero ele tem problemas e mal pode controlar os movimentos.
All my energy went into trying to stay in one position and anchor my body. Every time I'd make a motion to do that, my body would go in the other direction. I'd turn a valve and would turn me.
Em um traje rígido e sem nenhum apoio, o esforço é intenso.
And just listening on the ground, you can hear the labored breathing. He's just breathing hard.
O médico da missão vê o pulso de Cernan subir a mais de 170 batimentos por minuto. E se ele desmaiar ou tiver um ataque cardíaco, o controle de missão não pode fazer nada.
I really realize how powerless we are. I can visualize Gene in this environment, but basically there's no way I can help him.
I didn't want them to do it. If it was up to me, we wouldn't do EVAs. Okay, it was a dangerous thing to do. It's very dangerous to get out because you may not come back.
Finalmente, Stafford e Cernan decidem encerrar a missão.
The crew decided they would abort the EVA while they were out of sight of mission control.
I don't think I'll have to do this again.
It was scary. When they got that hatch closed and we could see the pressure in the cabin start coming up, everybody, it was a little bit of a, whew, glad that's over.
We had to take an entirely new approach to extravehicular operations.
A solução foi extremamente simples: treinar para EVAs embaixo d'água, onde a gravidade é neutralizada. O treinamento de flutuação neutra, utilizado até hoje, leva à criação de novas ferramentas, apoios e alças para os pés, que fazem toda a diferença. Em novembro de 1966, a Gemini 12 executa uma caminhada espacial perfeita. Com o programa Gemini, o controle de missão aperfeiçoou o encontro, aprendeu a operar duas naves ao mesmo tempo e se recuperou de um EVA quase desastroso.
Gemini was the confidence builder. It gave our industry time to learn how to build these space systems, but it was the confidence builder for the planners, the operators in this room, and the astronauts.
Not too many people remember Gemini today, but it was Gemini that taught us the techniques we would need for Apollo.
Apollo, o programa que enviará o homem em uma viagem de 800 mil quilômetros. Com 3 anos para o fim da década e do prazo de John Kennedy, todos estão trabalhando sem parar.
We used to be working 16, 18 hours a day. You'd work 6, 7 days a week. You automatically worked every Saturday. That was the world we lived in.
That's go fever. It's other inputs that make you want to do things beyond the good logic you have. We suffered go fever many times because of that commitment to Mr. Kennedy.
A febre de seguir em frente torna-se um estilo de vida na NASA. Com o primeiro voo Apollo em poucas semanas, não há nada pronto.
There just weren't enough hours in the day to get all the things done that we needed to. And we kept pressing the schedule, we kept pressing the time, we kept pressing in every direction.
A tripulação da Apollo 1, Gus Grissom, Roger Chaffee e Ed White, também está na corrida e continua insatisfeita com a nave.
The Apollo was a mess. It had a lot of things that had not been tested. It was shipped to the Cape, not ready to go. So we lived with that damn thing around the clock.
– 27 de janeiro de 1967, 3 semanas para o lançamento. Um ensaio para a contagem final, chamado de teste desligado. A equipe é trancada e a nave recebe o oxigênio de alta pressão. O teste se arrasta pela noite.
I remember that day we just couldn't talk with the crew. The communication was just terrible.
We're literally behind in every area of our work. And nobody stood up and said stop.
Às 18h31 de uma sexta-feira, a NASA paga um preço alto pela febre de seguir em frente. Centro Espacial Kennedy, Flórida. Para seus participantes, o projeto Apollo tem 2 metades. E a linha divisória entre elas é 27 de janeiro de 1967. Naquela sexta-feira, aqui na plataforma 34, tudo mudou. Até hoje, quando Gene Kranz e seus controladores se reúnem, a conversa sempre retorna àquela noite. Eles chamam o incidente de O Incêndio, e nenhum deles jamais se esquecerá.
I had gotten off shift with Gene that day, and several of us had gone over to the Holiday Inn, and we were over there drinking.
I had gone home because they were going out for the evening, and one of my neighbors came over who worked out at the Space Center and indicated they had a fire in the pad.
I thought to myself, this could be really serious, because the first thing that came into my mind was 100% oxygen. Fire was the last thing you ever wanted to hear if you're operating with oxygen. And they couldn't get out. They were trapped.
And that was the end of it. It was all over in about 12 seconds.
Presos na cabine, Ed White, Gus Grissom e Roger Chaffee estão mortos. Muitos jovens controladores nunca haviam lidado com a morte antes do incêndio. Para toda a NASA, ele marca o fim da inocência.
This started, I would say, probably the most difficult week in our history.
Well,
a lot of guys process it. Get through that first week. Get over that.
Come back to work.
First barrier. Get back to work. Figure out what are you going to do about it. Do about it. Do about it. Do about it.
Na manhã da segunda-feira, após o incêndio, Gene Kranz fala com a equipe. Décadas depois, ele ainda pode recitar as palavras daquele dia.
Spaceflight's terribly unforgiving of carelessness, incapacity, or neglect. I don't know what the Thompson Committee will find as the cause of this accident, but I know what I find. We were the cause. The simulators weren't ready. Our software and mission control didn't function. Procedures weren't complete. Nothing we did had any shelf life. And no one stood up and said, "Damn it, stop." Now, from this day forward, mission control will be known by two words: tough and competent. Tough meaning we will never again shirk from our responsibility because we're forever accountable for what we do or what we fail to do. Competent, we'll never again take anything for granted. We'll never stop learning. When you leave here today, you will write these two words, tough and competent, on your blackboard, and they will never be erased. They will serve as a constant reminder to the sacrifice of Grissom, White, and Chaffee. That's all.
And then I remember walking out of there and people starting to gather in little groups and starting to talk. And I think our whole attitude changed, and I think we changed. I think we then took the challenge to go make things right.
A NASA reúne uma junta de investigação, o Comitê Thompson. Eles descobrem que um incêndio começou com um curto-circuito em algum ponto dos 48 quilômetros de fios. E também descobrem erros básicos na construção, muito material inflamável na cabine, uma escotilha que não pode ser aberta rapidamente e o perigo terrível do oxigênio puro. Todos os voos tripulados são suspensos. Diante do desastre que poderia dar fim ao Apollo, a NASA realiza um milagre da engenharia. Em menos de 2 anos, a espaçonave é redesenhada, reconstruída e está pronta para voar.
11 de outubro de 1968. Apollo 7. O retorno aos testes com voos tripulados. A grande prova do novo módulo de comando e serviço. "21 meses após o incêndio, os astronautas Don Isley, Wally Schirra e Walt Cunningham levam a espaçonave redesenhada à órbita terrestre. Por 11 dias, eles avaliam o módulo de comando.
Apollo 7 completed every one of the flight test objectives and a few more. It was a mission that was accomplished flawlessly. The spacecraft performed in an exemplary fashion.
O programa Apollo volta à ativa. Mas eventos distantes estão prestes a afetar o controle de missão. Fotografias de satélite da CIA revelam que a Rússia também tem um foguete lunar pronto para o lançamento. Corona R1, satélite de reconhecimento. Agosto de 1968. Fotografias de satélite da CIA mostram um enorme foguete russo quase pronto para o lançamento.
The CIA came rushing in. They had a picture of the vehicle on its way to the pad. It was obvious they were going after something big. And what could it be but the circumlunar flight?
Um voo circulunar americano que daria a volta na Lua sem aterrissar só está marcado para o ano seguinte. Então a diretoria da NASA faz uma mudança ousada. Seu próximo voo, o Apollo 8, dará a volta completa na Lua.
My initial belief was this was absolutely crazy. But I realized that risk had to be taken if we were to achieve Kennedy's goal of landing on the moon within the decade.
Será o teste definitivo para os matemáticos da trincheira. Navegar uma espaçonave na direção de um alvo móvel a 400 mil quilômetros de distância.
We were used to just going around the planet, and this was the first time that we were going to take people and send them to a destination.
A Apollo 8 também marcará a primeira vez que astronautas serão lançados pelo gigantesco foguete Saturno V.
That was going to be the long pole in the tent. That big Hummer that had to get us out of the atmosphere. Everybody knew that one was going to have to be done right.
It overpowered you. To me, this was the greatest miracle of technology associated with the entire Apollo program.
Mais alto do que um prédio de 30 andares, o Saturno V pesa 3 milhões de toneladas. O próprio sistema de lançamento é um conjunto de aparelhos enormes e complexos. Cada componente, uma maravilha da engenharia. Para transportá-lo, uma plataforma móvel maior do que um campo de beisebol. Para a manutenção, uma torre mais alta do que o prédio da ONU em Nova York. 9 braços retráteis o alimentam com eletricidade e combustível, cada um pesando 30 toneladas. Sob o foguete, um defletor de chamas, mais alto do que um prédio de 6 andares, impedirá que o fogo volte para cima. Sem ele, o foguete destruiria a si mesmo. Travas de segurança o manterão preso à plataforma até que os motores atinjam potência máxima. Elas precisam se erguer com no máximo 30 milissegundos de intervalo ou o foguete se inclinará ao começar a se mover. Em dezembro de 1968, o foguete está pronto. Os astronautas da Apollo 8, Frank Borman, Jim Lovell e Bill Anders, estão prestes a se tornar os primeiros humanos enviados a outro corpo celeste. Gene Kranz vai apenas assistir. Ele está treinando para o próximo voo.
I was sitting out Apollo 8, and this is probably one of the times in my life when I really appreciated being in the sideline during the course of the mission, because I had the ability to feel every emotion. I didn't have to suppress it like the guys on the console.
20 seconds and count.
21 de dezembro, às 6 horas e 51 minutos da manhã, o monstro ganha vida. Com exceção de uma bomba nuclear, o barulho do Saturno V é o ruído mais alto produzido pelo homem na história. As travas de segurança se erguem e o foguete de 3 milhões de toneladas começa a subir.
Every controller held their breath because we want that guy to fly.
Duas horas e 50 minutos após o lançamento, ocorre a injeção translunar. Pela primeira vez, seres humanos deixarão a gravidade da Terra e partirão para o espaço profundo.
I had this visceral feeling that we have left Earth orbit, going to a place that a human had never been before.
Apollo 8, Houston, you're looking good here, right down the center line. Roger, Apollo 8.
We see the trajectory path change from basically going around the Earth now to forming a figure-8 type maneuver. We're outward bound to the moon. We'd seen it only in training before. I had never seen it for real, nor at any controller.
Safe journey, guys.
Agora, a física assume os controles. A nave está avançando e a Lua se aproxima. Em 2 dias, suas trajetórias se encontrarão. Depois, mais um feito inédito: a inserção na órbita lunar. Se o empuxo do motor não for exato, a Apollo 8 pode se perder no sistema solar ou chocar-se contra a Lua.
As we approach the moon, everybody's anxiety, started raising because we knew that we were about to do something that was irreversible. We're just sitting here waiting. It's like waiting for a funeral to start.
You have one engine that has to work perfectly, and if that engine doesn't work, you're not going into orbit around the moon, or if you're in orbit around the moon, you're not coming back home.
Apollo 8, Houston, trajectory and guidance look good.
O empuxo do motor vai ocorrer atrás da Lua, fora de contato por rádio. Até que a Apollo 8 reapareça, ninguém na Terra saberá se as equações da trincheira estão corretas. Véspera de Natal de 1968. Os astronautas Frank Borman, Jim Lovell e Bill Anders, da Apollo 8, desapareceram atrás da Lua. Enquanto estão do outro lado, realizarão uma manobra crítica. A trincheira calculou o momento exato em que a Apollo 8 deve reaparecer.
If the engine burn was successful, then they'd come around at this time and we'd see them. And if they didn't do the maneuver, then they would be early.
We've heard nothing yet, but we're standing by.
To the second we saw that clock at zero. We heard the call, and we knew the crew had performed the perfect maneuver. We were now in orbit around the moon.
It's Apollo 8 now in lunar orbit. There's a cheer in this room.
Pela primeira vez, humanos haviam chegado a apenas 95 quilômetros de outro corpo celeste.
I think the best way to describe this area is a vastness of black and white. Absolutely no color.
A tripulação e todos que assistiam da Terra veem mais uma coisa.
That was indescribable. If you didn't experience that, you've missed something. You see it now, and you can make up that picture on any computer, but that was real, and it meant a lot to me, and it meant a lot, I think, to every human being on Earth that saw it.
And then they did the unbelievable. I just couldn't believe it.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
They started reading from the book of Genesis. And this was on Christmas Eve.
And the earth was without form and void. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God called the firmament heaven.
This was a surprise. Everything else had been pre-planned. And I was crying. It was so beautiful. And right now, this time, I really find it hard to suppress, the emotion of that instant. It's real for everybody who was there, who lived it.
Waters called he seas. God saw that it was good. And from the crew of Apollo 8, we close with good night, good luck, a Merry Christmas, and God bless all of you on the good earth.
To hear that coming from Americans circling the moon on Christmas Eve, very emotional moment, very proud moment.
A Apollo 8 é um marco na história, dando à humanidade as primeiras imagens de nosso lar como ele realmente é. No início de 1969, duas missões Apollo, a 9 e 10, testam o módulo lunar. Em junho, a primeira tentativa de aterrissagem lunar com a Apollo 11 deve ocorrer em apenas 4 semanas. Nos bastidores do controle de missão, a equipe de Jim Kranz está treinando, simulando a aterrissagem.
The simulations were so real that no controller could discern the difference between the training and the real mission.
Os astronautas ficam em uma espaçonave falsa e os controladores em suas estações. Quando a simulação começa, a missão é realizada como se fosse verdadeira, seguindo um roteiro criado pela equipe de simulação. Um roteiro planejado para revelar fraquezas.
They would start out with a normal mission so we could see that. After that, the rules were off. They would throw in any kind of failure they might be able to have.
The sim guys were devious people. They would give you a red herring to send you off sideways here and get you distracted. And then come the bomb buster, hit you, kaboom.
Apenas um mês antes da aterrissagem real, as simulações de Kranz não vão nada bem.
It seemed we couldn't do anything right. We'd crash into the surface of the moon. We'd abort unnecessarily. Our bosses would call us up on the phone and they'd say, "Hey, what's going on down there?"
Em 5 de julho não há mais tempo. Só resta uma simulação antes do lançamento.
Final simulation is essentially graduation day. It's one where you want everything to go exactly right and you want to leave the crew and the control team feeling good about this mission.
A simulação começa. O responsável pelo computador do módulo lunar é o oficial de orientação Steve Bales. Na metade da simulação, o computador aciona um alarme.
This alarm should never come up. So I called an abort.
Capcom word, no go. You are no go, no go.
I thought we had done the right thing. My controllers thought they had done the right thing. But the simulation supervisor came in and said, "No, you didn't do the right thing. You had that computer program alarm, but the computer was still functioning correctly."
De acordo com o supervisor da simulação, a equipe de Kranz abortara sem necessidade.
As a team, we had failed our final training day, and this was bad news.
Em pouco menos de uma semana, a Apollo 11 partiria para a Lua e a equipe de Gene Kranz não estava pronta. Julho de 1969, 10 dias antes do lançamento da Apollo 11. A simulação final demonstrou um problema no computador de aterrissagem. Gene Kranz quer que Steve Bales o resolva.
Gene said, "Look, I want you to go work on computer alarm rules, and I want to have an answer before the week's over. What are we going to do if this alarm comes up?"
Os criadores do computador garantem que o alarme não vai ocorrer durante o voo real. Mas caso estejam errados, caberá a Bales decidir se a aterrissagem deve continuar. 20 de julho de 1969.
Today, mankind will attempt mission control in Houston. Reports everything is go. Today's first chance to set foot on another world.
2 semanas depois, a primeira viagem à Lua está prestes a começar. Toda a vida, Gene Kranz esperou por esse momento.
Of all of the flight directors, I'm probably the most emotional. And I felt compelled to talk. I said, "We're getting ready to make history."
We're getting ready to make history. You know what we're about to do.
From the day that we were born, we were destined to be in this room this day.
I have absolute confidence in everyone in this room, but I want you to know something.
No matter what happens to us this day, I will stand behind every decision that you make.
However it goes. However it goes. When we walk out of this room, we walk out of this room as a team. I can't even say that today without getting choked up about it. That was the best thing he could have said to me.
I said, "Lock the control room door." And from that moment forward, no one would enter or leave this room until we had either landed, we had aborted, or we had crashed.
Gene Kranz checa cada controle antes de iniciar a aterrissagem.
Okay, all flight controllers, go for powered descent. Retro, go. Fido, go. Guide, go. Control, go. Calcom, go. INC, go. ECOM, go. Surgeon, go. Capcom word, go for powered descent.
A 400 mil quilômetros, os astronautas Neil Armstrong e Buzz Aldrin começam a descer no módulo lunar. Mas 1 minuto após o início da operação, Steve Bale, responsável pela orientação, avisa que estão descendo rápido demais. Se o erro aumentar, pode ocorrer um desastre.
Steve Bales comes to me and he says, "Flight, we're halfway to our abort limit."
So I was terrified. I thought I was going to have to stop the landing.
How are you looking, guys? You say we're based on 20 foot per second. No change, is what you're saying. No change. Roger.
Nenhuma mudança. A velocidade se mantém no limite de cancelamento.
And I thought my big problem for the day was over.
Mas o grande problema de Bale estava apenas começando.
1201. Roger, 1201 alarm.
1201. O alarme de computador que nunca deveria soar durante a missão verdadeira, o mesmo da simulação final.
I'd forgotten what 1201 was. My backroom, who knows everything, forgotten what 1201 was. My backroom, who knows everything, has reminded me, that's the one where you've got to make a choice.
Bale tem 25 anos e poucos segundos para decidir. Seguir adiante com um computador defeituoso ou abortar.
If we ever aborted a lunar descent, it would have been the most complicated maneuver we've done in human spaceflight.
O tempo está se esgotando. Bales toma a decisão.
I said, flight, we're go. I almost shouted it.
We're going that line. Go! Roger. Real good. Roger.
O funcionamento do computador está por um fio. E agora surge outro problema.
All of the problems that have occurred now are causing us to land long.
Eles perderam a zona de aterrissagem e há rochedos do tamanho de casas no caminho. Procurando um lugar mais seguro, Neil Armstrong está ficando sem combustível.
We wanted to have a margin at the end. When we landed, we didn't want to land empty. In all of the sims, always, we had something on the order of 3 minutes of fuel left.
3 minutos. Altitude ainda acima de 1.500 metros. A matemática não parece boa.
I said, okay, off flight controllers. No more calls, except for fuel remaining.
Okay, the only call out from now on will be fuel.
Então Bob Calton, da fileira de sistemas, faz o anúncio que ninguém quer ouvir.
Low level?
Low level. This means that now the gas gauge on board the spacecraft is virtually reading empty.
Boy, I clutched. The back room clutched. The whole control center clutched.
A atualização seguinte é de 60 segundos.
I started a stopwatch, and I sat there and watched that watch count down. And it come time to 60 seconds.
60 seconds.
Look at that altitude. We're never supposed to see this. The impossible has happened. We're not going to make it.
He calls off 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
I'm still counting. When he hits 0, it is now land or abort, one or the other.
Picking up some dust.
I thought, picking up dust? How can you be picking up dust? And then it dawned on me, we might make it.
About the time that he now calls off 15 seconds, we hear the crew going through the process of shutting down the engines.
Contact light. Okay, engine stop. Control both auto, diesel engine command override off.
De repente, os engenheiros do controle de missão, sempre prevenidos, encontram-se totalmente despreparados para o que ouvem a seguir.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
I'd never heard the words Tranquility Base before. In every simulation and every training, they continued to call themselves the Eagle even after they'd landed. Incredible name. I think, what an incredible name.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
And then the back room literally erupted. The people were pounding on the floor, cheering, applauding us. And then my control room started picking up the same buzz. And I said, okay, all you guys, settle down.
Okay, keep the chatter down in this room. Come on, let's keep the chatter down.
I said, guys, settle down, settle down. Keep your eye on the dadgum bird. This ain't over with. Keep your eye on it.
Fora do centro de controle, o mundo comemora. Dentro, a missão continua. A tripulação e a espaçonave precisam ser monitoradas e os sistemas checados. Jim Kranz precisa tomar mais uma decisão. É seguro permanecer na Lua? É apenas mais um momento em um turno muito movimentado.
Flight controllers, about 45 seconds to T1, stay no stay. 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 Stay no stay.
A primeira aterrissagem na Lua foi uma experiência compartilhada por milhões. Ironicamente, algumas das poucas pessoas que a perderam foram aquelas que a fizeram acontecer.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
That instant, we missed. And this team I felt so emotionally attached to that I just wished we could go back to that time and place and just do it one more time, only this time really enjoy the moment rather than having to be so darn busy.
O controle de missão acreditava que este momento entraria para a história como sua melhor hora. Eles não tinham como saber que um desafio ainda maior estava logo adiante. Um desafio que os levaria à beira do desastre. Novembro de 1969. A NASA cumpriu seu prazo, aterrissando na Lua antes do fim da década. Mas o controle de missão não pode descansar. Os próximos voos serão tão difíceis e perigosos quanto os anteriores.
Before every flight, our job was to train and simulate, to be ready for anything. Once we launched, our job changed. Then, it was all about problem solving.
O momento mais importante é o lançamento. Com a tripulação sentada sobre 3 milhões de toneladas de explosivos, os controladores não têm muito tempo para resolver problemas.
During powered flight, the mission decision process operated in around a 20-second time frame. Most people would think of 20 seconds as a blink of an eye. In mission control, it was a lifetime.
14 de novembro de 1969. Apollo 12. Os astronautas Pete Conrad, Dick Gordon e Alan Bean partem para a segunda aterrissagem lunar. A necessidade de tomar uma decisão rápida está prestes a cair sobre o controlador John Warren. Ele é o responsável pelos sistemas elétricos e ambientais e atende por EECOM.
The thing that makes a good econ is a natural curiosity about how things work, even if you are not responsible for them.
2, 1. Ignition.
A Apollo 12 decola. É o primeiro lançamento de Jerry Griffin como diretor de voo.
And all of a sudden all the data went away and there was a big static in my headset.
What the hell was that?
I said, EECOM, what do you see?
I looked down at all of my telemetry data, the readouts from the spacecraft, and they were nonsensical.
Na Apollo, o astronauta Alan Bean também não sabe o que está acontecendo.
Lights pop on. The alarm system comes on. More lights than I'd ever seen ever in the simulator. I mean, there was main bus A, main bus B.
I got 3 fuel cell lights, an AC bus light, a fuel cell disconnect, AC bus overload, 1 and 2, main bus A and B.
É uma falha elétrica. O módulo de comando perdeu a energia. As baterias de emergência entram em funcionamento, mas vão durar apenas 2 horas. O controle de missão considera abortar o lançamento, remover a cápsula e explodir o Saturno V. Mas a curiosidade de John Warren é compensada. 1 ano antes, durante um teste, ele vira um estranho padrão de dados e descobrira uma chave no módulo de comando que podia consertá-lo.
I had seen that pattern before, and it had been 1 year since I had seen it. But it was like that pattern was written in my mind.
Os motores do Saturno V continuam queimando, mas o módulo de comando mal está funcionando, alimentado apenas por baterias de emergência. Todos esperam que o EECOM aborte a missão, mas Aaron toma uma decisão diferente.
I said, flight, tell them to take the SCE to Ox.
Flight Council, SCE to Ox.
And I said, what?
Say again, SCE to Ox.
SCE to Ox.
I said, what's that?
It was some obscure switch, signal conditioning electronics to auxiliary.
I turned to the Capcom and Jerry Carr and I said,
SCE to Ox, Capcom.
And Carr said, what?
Mission Control comes back and says,
Try SCE to auxiliary, over. SCE to auxiliary. SCE to auxiliary. What the hell?
Turned out Al Bean knew where that switch was. It was back over his shoulder. He threw the switch and we got all of our data back and we could see what the problem was.
We got it back, flight. Looks good. Okay.
A análise posterior revelou que a Apollo 12 fora atingida por um raio que atravessou todo o foguete até o chão, tirando o sistema elétrico principal da nave de funcionamento. A chave SCE não fora criado para esta situação, mas funciona.
Thank God for mission control. Thank God for mission control. I didn't have any idea what to do.
Pete Conrad broke out in nervous laughter.
You know what it did? I know what it is.
He laughed all the way into orbit.
Apollo 12
A Apollo 12 fez a segunda aterrissagem lunar. No centro de controle, a ordem de John Aaron SCE para ALPS tornou-se lendária.
If you took a poll of all of the people and asked them who is the most capable flight controller to ever sit in mission control, I think the majority of them would say John Aaron.
Cinco meses depois, os astronautas da Apollo 13, Jim Lovell, Jack Swigert e Fred Hayes, estão a caminho da Lua. Após duas aterrissagens bem-sucedidas, o controle de missão está confiante.
We were feeling pretty good about what we did, although a lot of us had a lot of guarded humble, because it's dangerous business.
Este perigo logo ficará evidente. Ninguém percebe, mas há uma bomba relógio dentro da Apollo 13. No tanque de oxigênio líquido, há um aquecedor e uma hélice para mexer a mistura ultragelada. Sem que ninguém saiba, a fiação está danificada. 13 de abril de 1970, quase 56 horas após o início do voo. O turno da equipe de Jim Kranz está quase acabando. Mas antes disso, eles ordenam que a hélice do tanque de oxigênio seja ligada.
13, we'd like you to stir up your cryo tank. Okay, stand by. We've had a problem here. Can say again, please. Houston, we've had a problem. Maybe bus undervolt.
Baixa de voltagem no barramento B. Uma queda de energia. Ninguém sabe disso, mas a fiação defeituosa no tanque de oxigênio 2 causou uma explosão. A princípio, os astronautas e o controle acham que é apenas um problema de energia.
My initial gut reaction was, hey, we're going to solve this problem, get back on track, and then keep driving towards the moon.
Mas o astronauta Jim Lovell relata algo ainda pior.
Now, look to me, looking out the hatch, so we are venting something.
Crew thinks they're venting something.
We are venting something out into space.
To this day, I don't know why I did it, but I looked out the window, the side window, and I could see escaping at a high rate of speed a gaseous substance. We were losing our oxygen.
And this now triggered me to a survival mode, when the only thought on your mind is survival and you're trying to find a way to make it for the next few minutes.
Eles não entendem o que aconteceu, só sabem que estão perdendo oxigênio e energia.
Okay, now let's everybody keep cool. Let's solve the problem, but let's not make it any worse by guessing.
Mas eles não conseguem resolver. A energia do módulo de comando está acabando. Eles acionam as baterias de energia, mas elas só duram algumas horas. Kranz ordena Cy Liebergott, o ICOM, responsável pelos sistemas elétricos e ambientais, a buscar ajuda.
Ecom, have you called in your backup ecoms now? See if we can get some more brain power in this thing. We got one here. Roger.
Um dos primeiros ICOMs a chegar é John Aaron.
I watched what they were doing a few times. I said, guys, you're wasting our emergency batteries. We're going to have to power the command module down and turn it off.
I'd like you to go down that power down procedure until you get yourself.
That was a big, big step. It never powered down a command module or any of the major spacecraft.
That's right.
Eles não têm escolha. As baterias de emergência logo se esgotarão, mas serão necessárias para a reentrada. Para se salvarem, os astronautas precisam desligar o módulo de comando, sua nave-mãe.
It became apparent that the inevitable was facing us, that we were going to lose this mothership.
A tripulação passa para o módulo lunar, transformado em bote salva-vidas. O módulo de comando, a única coisa que pode trazê-los de volta, é desligado para economizar as baterias.
Now we know there's no more going to the moon. We also know it's going to be damn tough, maybe impossible, to get this crew back home.
A NASA reage como qualquer família após um acidente. No país inteiro, telefones começam a tocar. Nas instalações terceirizadas e no controle de missão, os engenheiros de folga começam a chegar para se informar, ajudar ou simplesmente estar presentes.
I'll never forget it going up those steps. I didn't know what was going on. I said, man, I bet you I'll never be the same when I come out of this place. I knew it. And I wasn't.
Neste momento, Gene Kranz recorre a seu mentor, Chris Kraft.
I knew it was serious when I walked into the room. The electricity was here. The smoke was here. The environment was here, that these guys were under the gun.
And he walked to me at the console. I was busy, and I says, Chris, we're in deep.
Abril de 1970. A 320 mil quilômetros da Terra, a Apollo 13 está avariada e a sobrevivência da tripulação em dúvida. Depois de perder a energia, o módulo de comando foi desligado. Os astronautas Gene Lovell, Jack Swigert e Fred Hayes deslocam-se para o módulo lunar. Ele pode mantê-los vivos, mas sem escudo de calor ou paraquedas, não pode trazê-los de volta.
If we didn't come up with some answers darn quick, not only wouldn't there be a landing, this crew might not come back to Earth.
Para salvar a tripulação, toda a equipe do controle de missão precisa agir.
In the trench, it was our job to speed up their return back to Earth. The systems guys then had to figure out how they could get their systems to sustain life on board their spacecraft for as long as they could.
Uma hora depois da explosão, acaba o turno da equipe de Gene Kranz e Glenn Lunney assume o comando. Uma de suas primeiras tarefas é um importante empuxo do motor. Sem um empuxo, a Apollo 13 dará a volta na Lua, passará pela Terra e se perderá no espaço.
My choice was to go ahead and get it done, so to give at least that sense of comfort to the team and to the crew.
We're burning 40%. Okay, great, you're looking good.
O empuxo funciona. Pelo menos, a nave está em uma rota que a levará de volta à Terra.
It was still a long way from being home, but we'd taken our first step, big step, back out of this hole.
Glenn was the one who sort of restored order to the room and got us thinking on an even keel.
Em toda a NASA e em instalações terceirizadas, engenheiros tentavam descobrir como economizar energia, água e suprimentos. No módulo lunar, os astronautas desligam as luzes e o aquecimento para poupar as baterias.
There wasn't enough thermal blankets, so this thing cooled down. So I got a lower urinary tract infection, chills and fever. Of course, the chills part got very bad with the temperature environment we had.
Fred Hayes ficava cada vez mais doente e a temperatura se aproximava de zero. No controle de missão, Gene Kranz reúne a equipe em outra sala.
I said, okay, everybody listen up. We have never lost an American in space, and we sure as hell aren't going to lose one now. You have to believe it, your team has to believe it, and we are the ones that must make it happen.
O objetivo é recuperar a energia do módulo de comando. Só ele tem o escudo de calor e os paraquedas para a reentrada.
This was a cold cutoff, and it was going to be a cold startup in space. And that had never been done before. So that's what Kranz his team had to go figure out. How do you do that?
As baterias do módulo de comando vão durar apenas 2 horas. Então, terão que ser ligadas no último minuto, pouco antes da reentrada, poupando cada gota de energia.
This whole thing came down to electricity. Electricity was the constraining resource.
So I elected John Aaron to basically become the power manager for the remainder.